Hi, this is Bishop Craig in Lansing, and this is Take One for the week of February 14. Peace be with you. I hope you are staying warm. It is cold outside, and I am praying for those who find it hard to stay warm, that they will find a place to stay warm. It's kind of scary time. I have a full week of Zoom meetings, 6 of them, I think, this week. 2 that I am most excited about is on Tuesday evening. We begin a second round of the Synod class Introduction to Social Justice with Justice Leaders Collaborative. And what we're trying to do is, I say it's like leaven. We're leavening the Synod with people who are being introduced to issues of racism, classism, sexism, gender, and disability. This is an introductory course. It's not a graduate course, if you will, for people who have made this their life's work and passion. But if you are one of those who would like an introduction and you contact Pastor Roseanne Anderson, we will put you on the list and consider you for a class. We kind of watch the balance and the composition and areas of the Synod and all of that good stuff. So, and then on Friday at 5, I'm going to go to Bible study with the campus ministry at One Community at University in East Lansing, and I'm really excited to get to spend time with college students and talk about the Bible and hear how their lives are. So, in the meantime, we have a camp board, Living Water Ministries board, and the Synod staff meeting, and the regular meeting of the Conference of Bishops. So, and it is Ash Wednesday on Wednesday, so go to church via Zoom or Facebook Live. We will also have an Ash Wednesday devotion as a staff in the morning, and I had thought about recording it. Maybe we will. I will ask the staff and posting it, and then I've got these words of Matthew playing in my head. Jesus says, and we will hear on Ash Wednesday, beware of practicing your piety before others in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. So I've got to wonder if posting us worshiping on Facebook is like practicing our piety before others in order to be seen by them, and whether we are better off going into our room and shutting our door and praying to our Father who's in secret, and our Father who sees in secret will reward us. All from Matthew, and that's kind of my Lenten question for these first 3 days this week. Is this an Ash Wednesday that we should take what Jesus says literally and go into our room and shut the door and pray to our Father in secret? I don't know. And then Sunday is the first Sunday in Lent, and the reading is the temptation narrative from Mark, which is one of my favorite stories because I used to use it to teach. It's short and it's concise, and you can teach how to study Scripture with it. And immediately the Spirit drove Jesus into the wilderness, and he was in the wilderness 40 days tempted by the devil, and he was with the wild beasts, and angels ministered to him. That's the part I like. We find out at the end that when John is arrested, Jesus returns to Galilee and proclaims the good news, and we understand what Jesus says. But this is about the temptation, I think, and it's important to know that Jesus is in the wilderness 40 days. And so 40 days is how long Noah was in the ark. It was how long Elijah journeyed to Mount Horeb, where he saw God and heard God in a still small voice. 40 is the number that Israel spent time in the wilderness, 40 years. So we could think that Jesus is doing kind of a concentrated Israel thing, a new Exodus. So Jesus is in the wilderness 40 days, and he's being tempted by the devil. And to tempt, what does that mean? We all think tempting makes us do something that is bad or that we know that's wrong. Some say that to tempt is to take us away from the heart of who we are. And so who is Jesus? Who at the heart of who he is? Well, we just found out that at the baptism, God, declared him the beloved with whom God is well pleased. So is the devil trying to tempt Jesus away from that identity? Kind of like the devil Satan, the serpent, did to Adam and Eve in the wilderness. Temptation is the same. You can be like God. Or Jesus, you can do this Messiah thing any way you want. But Jesus remains faithful in temptation, and we are told that he is with the wild beasts. Now, if you go back and look at the Greek, the with the wild beast is ambiguous. It could mean with the wild beast, as in proximity to wild beasts. I imagine Jesus sitting by a campfire and all these red eyes poking out of the darkness. Or we can hear with the wild beasts as in relationship with the wild beasts, Jesus sitting by the campfire and the lions and the tigers and the bears, oh my, laying there with him like a dog at the hearth. If that is true, then we are called back to Adam and Eve's relationship to the animals in the garden. And we are called ahead to Isaiah's vision of the peaceable kingdom, where the lion and the lamb will lie down together, and the child and the adder and all of that good stuff. And angels are there to minister to Jesus. Now, we remember back to the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve were tempted and succumbed to temptation. God brought in an angel, but it wasn't to minister to Adam and Eve. It was to send them on their way and to keep them out of the garden. So what we can see here, if we look closely, and maybe not so closely, is that Jesus is undoing the fall. Jesus is the new Adam who remains faithful to God in temptation. And Jesus is anticipating the coming of the reign of God in God's fullness, when the world will return to the way God intends. So what is the good news? That Jesus has restored, is restoring, will restore the world to what God intends. That is really good news as we live in a world marked by COVID and separation and division and political violence. Jesus will restore the world to the way God intends. So for us, in this Lenten season, the call is not to resist temptation the way Jesus did and does, because if we could do that, we wouldn't need Jesus. The call is to struggle with what it means to live out our identity as God's beloved ones, the chosen ones with whom God is well pleased, the identity we receive in baptism, and to resist those forces that would pull us away from that identity. And I think our call is to live in the world as if Jesus has already restored the world to the way God intends in all its fullness today, and to resist those temptations that would have us live in a different world, in a world that remains fallen. And we're not going to get it right. We're not going to get it perfect. But Jesus got it right, and Jesus got it perfect. And so the world that God intends is here and is coming. We see it in glimpses, and we will see it in all its fullness. And what we can do is try to live in the world that God intends. And when we fall, we can get up and we can try again. So Lent really is bigger than giving up movies or candy or booze or whatever. It is about striving to live as God's chosen ones and to live in the world that God intends. And I think if we take that, at least for me, if I take that struggle seriously for 40 days, I'll be ready for Jesus to save me, because I cannot save myself. And then it'll be Holy Week, and we will turn to Jerusalem and the cross. So have a blessed Lent. I'm Bishop Craig. This is Take One. Peace be with you.